Welcome back, everyone, for the annual year in review. This one is about the WWE in 2022. And I hate to say this, but I have to be honest. The WWE in 2022, for the first time in 5 years, this year was pretty decent. I can't say it was a great year, but I can't say it was horrible either. There were some things that I actually liked, and there were some things that I didn't like. But majority of the year, pretty positive. And I will give you my approval rating at the end of the presentation. So we start things off with day one. WWE's first pay-per-view of the calendar year on January 1st. So they're sort of paying homage to the New Year's Revolution that they did back in like 2005, 2007. So we're starting off day one. All right. So the big announcement, the elephant in the room, Roman Reigns. He was supposed to defend the Universal title against Brock Lesnar. But Roman Reigns got coronavirus, so he had to pull out. So we go to our first match. Our first match, Sheamus and Ridge Holland, they defeated Ricochet and Cesaro. The Usos, they defeated the New Day for the tag titles. Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss. RK Bro defeated the Street Profits. Edge defeated The Miz. Becky Lynch defeated Liv Morgan. So then the WWE, they created a fatal five-way match since Roman is unable to compete. It's Bobby Lashley, Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar won this match by pinning the champion, Big E. So Brock is the new WWE champion. I was shocked. I didn't think Big E's title run would last that quick. Surprised he didn't make it to WrestleMania as the champion. But obviously the WWE had different plans. But day one, I thought it was pretty good. Probably around like 8 out of 10 to start off the year. So we go to the Build the Royal Rumble. It was all right. Start things off with a feud between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. The feud is decent. They had pull apart brawls. They had Lashley, you know, they had Lesnar make Lashley look like a second rate version of Brock Lesnar. My problem with this feud, though, is that it was too comedic. Brock came out, he told a bunch of jokes, but it wasn't serious. They really could have dug deeper into this feud. They talked about how Bobby Lashley was a TNA World Champion while Lesnar's a WWE Champion. Lashley had success in Bellator, while Lesnar had success in the UFC. Lesnar was an NCAA champion while Lashley was in the NAIA. They could have brought up those statistics and make Lashley look like a second-rate version of Lesnar. But they really didn't go deep into that, and I was kind of disappointed. But the feud that we got with, I thought it was all right, but we could have gotten something more. Roman Reigns feud with Seth Rollins. So it's two members of the Shield going up against each other. I was fine with this. I always enjoy these two mixing it up together. Except this time, these personalities have changed. Roman Reigns, he's kind of a heel. He's the tribal chief, head of the table. Seth Rollins, his character's different. It was the Monday Night Messiah. He said his gimmick is like the Joker in a midlife crisis. Johnny Knoxville comes to WWE. He announced his entrance in the Royal Rumble, and the man who greets him in the WWE is Sami Zayn. So these two could be starting a program for WrestleMania. Doudrop, I believe she won like a fatal four-way match to become the new contender for Raw Women's title, and she feuds with Becky Lynch. This was Piper Niven's time. She turned heel, different personality, so it looks like they were doing something with her. So this feud with Becky thought was alright. The Miz continued his feud with Edge. This time they brought their wives in the mix to set up a match. This set up a match for the Royal Rumble with Edge, Beth Phoenix, Maurice, and The Miz. The Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable defeated RK Bro, and they won the Raw tag titles. And about time, because these guys can't beat anybody. They can't beat the Profits. They can't beat RKO. So here they are, winning the tag belts. So we go to the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns by disqualification, so Seth wins the match, but Roman keeps the title. This fits the story that Seth Rollins always beats Roman Reigns. Becky Lynch defeated Doudrop. Edge, Beth Phoenix defeated The Miz and Maurice. Bobby Lashley beats Brock Lesnar, with Roman Reigns spearing Brock Lesnar at the end of the match, so Lashley's your new WWE champion. Then we got the women's Royal Rumble match. We had some surprises. Ivory, Summer Rae, and the Impact Knockouts champion Mickie James. That made things interesting. She was released earlier in 2021, but here she is in the Royal Rumble as another company's champion. And then number 28, we had Ronda Rousey make her 3-year return to the Royal Rumble, and she wins the women's Royal Rumble match by last eliminating Charlotte Flair. So I thought this was pretty cool, unexpected. I didn't think she would come back, but rumors were swirling, and that's what happened. Then we had the men's Royal Rumble match. We had some surprises. Shane McMahon, Bad Bunny, and Johnny Knoxville. Out comes number 30. Brock Lesnar just lost his title match to Lashley. He enters the Rumble, and he last eliminates Drew McIntyre. So for the first time in 19 years, Brock Lesnar has won the Royal Rumble, and he goes to WrestleMania. So then we get the build to the Elimination Chamber. I didn't really care much for this. I didn't. But so you had Goldberg make his return. He feuded with Roman Reigns. This is all right for what it was. They had a couple of backstage interviews, a promo in the ring. Nothing much to it, but I've been waiting a long time, about 6 years, to see these two guys go at it. They were going to go one-on-one at WrestleMania 36, but Roman pulled out of the match. Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, they continued their feud going into the Elimination Chamber. Lita made a return, and she did a feud with Becky Lynch. Thought this was all right. SmackDown side, you have Ronda Rousey and Naomi. They feuded with Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. I didn't really care for this. RK Bro and the Alpha Academy, they did the feud over the tag titles. They did this academic decathlon challenge. Thought this was pretty cool. You know, I might not care about Chad Gable and Otis's booking, but they got charisma, they got personality. And this academic decathlon proved that they had that personality. The Elimination Chamber matches were set up. You had Austin Theory, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Matt Riddle, and Seth Rollins. So the men's chamber side looking strong. I didn't really care much for the women. You had Rhea Ripley, she was in it. Bianca Belair was in it. Liv Morgan, Doudrop. You had a returning Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. The outcome of this chamber match was very predictable. And I didn't really care from the matches going into it. Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley, they were a tag team, but Nikki turned onto each other. Instead of having this being turned into a feud, it got turned into a series of 50-50 matches between these two. So I didn't really care. And you had Bianca Belair. She buried Doudrop like 4 times. So I didn't really care for that. So the build going into the chamber, I didn't really care much for. So we're 1-1 here. Then we get to the Elimination Chamber. Roman Reigns defeated Goldberg. Match was quick. He won by submission. Wish the match could have gone a little bit longer. To me, this match should have happened at WrestleMania 33 instead of Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. But that didn't happen. It was going to happen WrestleMania 36. That didn't happen, so they had it here at the Chamber in Saudi Arabia. Once again, Roman Reigns walks out as champion. Rey Mysterio defeated The Miz. Ronda Rousey and Naomi defeated Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss. Becky Lynch defeated Lita. Bianca Belair, she won the Women's Elimination Chamber. And Brock Lesnar won the Men's Elimination Chamber. So he's once again the WWE Champion. And him and Roman Reigns will have a champion versus champion match at WrestleMania. So we go to the build towards WrestleMania. And for the first time in 4 years, the build was decent. Not great, but not terrible either like the past few years. Seth Rollins, he issued an open challenge for WrestleMania. He tried to get a match on the WrestleMania card with Roman Reigns, Lesnar, a U.S. title match, but none of that stuff worked. So he issued out an open challenge. That's going to be, and his opponent will be handpicked by Vince McMahon. Kevin Owens wants a match at WrestleMania. So he started running down the state of Texas. And eventually, he started to call out Steve Austin. He came out, mocked Steve Austin, used his entrance theme, his t-shirts. So it looks like Austin's going to WrestleMania against Kevin Owens. We know if it's going to be a promo segment or a match, but Austin will be at WrestleMania. Logan Paul comes to WWE. He teams with The Miz and feuds with Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Now, this was pretty cool. I like Logan Paul. I like the work that he's done outside the WWE. So maybe he's the guy that the company needs. Pat McAfee, he did a short feud of Austin Theory. I like Pat McAfee. His work in NXT was cool. He's a good commentator. And I like what Austin Theory has done so far. This is, pretty good challenge for him. AJ Styles, he did a feud of Edge. Edge turned heel. He attacked AJ Styles with a chair. He says he wants the real AJ, not the one who's been a tag team partner with Omos. Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, they won the Academic Decathlon Challenge, and they eventually went back to tag team titles from the Alpha Academy. Don't know why they took the titles off of them, but they won back the tag titles. Reigns, Brock Lesnar, they did their feud towards WrestleMania. Nothing too different from their feuds in the past, but for what it was, it's all right. Sami Zayn defeated Johnny Knoxville. Johnny Knoxville cost him his Intercontinental title match against Ricochet, so Ricochet is the new champion. Finn Balor defeated Damian Priest for the U.S. Championship. I'm happy for Finn, but I could not care for Damian Priest. Every single U.S. title match he had in a DQ. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, they feuded towards WrestleMania. I didn't really care. We've seen these two women feud with each other in the past. Becky has gotten the best of Bianca past couple of occasions. Don't know why we're doing a rematch, because it's the only thing they got. So I didn't care much for this. I mean, they did some physicality involved, but Bianca's just too cringe. And same goes for Becky. She's playing this heel gimmick, but she's doing it way too hard. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, they did feud towards WrestleMania. Their Survivor Series build was better. They tried some stuff in here, but wrong opponents. It should have been Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania and Charlotte and Sasha. That's what they should have done. So both of these women's title match feuds, I didn't have any interest in, nor do I really care much for them. And Drew McIntyre, once again, feuded with Baron Corbin, Madcap Moss, didn't care. Road towards WrestleMania, I'll probably give maybe a 6 out of 10. It was decent. It wasn't great, but better than 2021 or 2020 or 2019. So we're going somewhere. WrestleMania Night 1. It's a 2-night event again. We had the Usos defeat Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Drew McIntyre defeated Baron Corbin. The Miz and Logan Paul. The Miz and Logan Paul defeated the Mysterios. After the match, The Miz turned on Logan Paul. Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch. I knew this outcome was going to happen. The match itself was fine, but I didn't care for the build. I knew the outcome was predictable, so I didn't really care much for this match. In a surprise, Charlotte Flair beats Ronda Rousey. Very surprised by this. So then we get the Seth Rollins Open Challenge. Out came the returning Cody Rhodes from AEW. He's back in the WWE. I was very shocked. I didn't think he would ever come back. I knew he would eventually, but not now. Thought he would stay in AEW for a couple more years, but here he is. Comes to WrestleMania, takes on Seth Rollins, he wins. Then we get to the end of the night. It was a KO show. Kevin Owens is there, calls out his guest, it's Steve Austin. He comes on out. Kevin Owens challenges him to a match. Austin accepts. These guys go about 15 minutes. Austin gets to win, and he looked good. I don't know if he'll come back for another match, but he might got a couple left in him. Who knows? But night 1 was pretty good. We get night 2. RK Bro, they won a triple threat tag team title match. They defeated the Street Profits in the Alpha Academy. Bobby Lashley defeated Omos. So Omos, he's not really looking too good here. He beat AJ, beat a bunch of little competitors, for him to lose to Bobby Lashley. Yikes. Johnny Knoxville defeated Sami Zayn. Sasha Banks, Naomi. They won a fatal 4-way for the women's tag team titles. They defeated Carmella and Selena Vega, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and Italian Shayna Baszler. Edge defeated AJ Styles with the assist of Damian Priest. So these two individuals are forming some kind of tag team. Sheamus and Ridge Holland defeated the New Day. Pat McAfee defeats Austin Theory. Mr. McMahon, he comes into the ring. He challenges Pat McAfee to a match. McAfee gets low blowed. So McMahon pins McAfee. So Mr. McMahon has won a WrestleMania match. And while McMahon and Theory are celebrating, out comes Steve Austin, and he stuns Vince McMahon one last time. We have the Hall of Fame showcase. Out comes The Undertaker, pays his respects to the audience. We get to the main event. Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar. So he is now a double champion. WrestleMania 38, pretty good. Probably 8 out of 10. The road, the road to WrestleMania Backlash. I didn't really care much for this. The majority of these matches are rematches. Seth and Cody, they continue their feud. Bobby Lashley comes out, celebrates his victory at WrestleMania. MVP turns on him and aligns with Omos. So I thought this looked kind of interesting, but I didn't know where it was going. Edge comes out, brings out Damian Priest. They are forming a team called the Judgment Day. Baron Corbin turns on Madcap Moss. And they got these two into a feud. I was fine with this. You know, I like Madcap Moss, Riddick Moss. He beat Ricochet a few years ago for the 24/7 title. So he's got something in him. Athletic ability and charisma. I hope they push him, but I'll see where it goes. Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey continue their feud. I didn't care for this. Sonya Deville tells Bianca Belair she has a mystery opponent, and it happened to be Sonya Deville. She attacked Bianca Belair. So we get to the match. And Bianca Belair pretty much won. So I didn't really care all for this. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, they broke up. This led to a serious match between these two. I didn't really care for that. Austin Theory defeated Finn Balor. He becomes the U.S. title with McMahon as his manager. I was fine with this. And RK Bro teased a feud of the New Day, not the New Day, a feud of the Usos for a tag title unification match. Thought that was pretty cool. So then we get the Backlash. Cody Rhodes again he beats Seth Rollins. Omos beats Lashley. Edge once again beats AJ. Ronda Rousey beats Charlotte Flair. So she is the new champion. Madcap Moss defeated Baron Corbin. Then we have the Bloodline against Matt Riddle, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre. The Bloodline won this match. So then we get the build towards Hell in a Cell. I thought this was alright. Out comes the returning Asuka. You know, she interrupts the promo between Bianca and Becky Lynch. I thought this promo was pretty good. You know, they reference how Asuka had to carry the load while Becky was gone. So it looks like we're getting some triple threat. So this is better than another match between Becky and Bianca. We get a steel cage match between Omos and Lashley. Omos threw Lashley through the cage, so Lashley wins. Omos ain't looking too good here. He purposely lost the steel cage match. So he's like Braun Strowman. Elias gets repackaged as Ezekiel. He believes Ezekiel's his younger brother, a new personality. He feuded Kevin Owens. So I thought this feud was all right. I'll see this repackage goes, but I'm not too sure. Judgment Day gets a new member added to the group in Rhea Ripley. AJ goes to the locker room, recruits Finn Balor and Liv Morgan to set up a six-man tag at Hell in a Cell. Austin Theory and The Miz, they did a feud with Mustafa Ali. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, they continued their feud. They did a pull-out brawl all over the building. The best part of the feud is Seth Rollins mentioned AEW, about how Cody and his friends were building around a promotion around Seth Rollins and was rebuilding the WWE. So I thought this was pretty cool. Hell in a Cell, Bianca Belair defeats Becky Lynch and Asuka. Lashley beats Omos. Kevin Owens beats Ezekiel. This was rough. I think Ezekiel should have won, but a loss here proves Kevin Owens' point that Ezekiel and Elias are perhaps one and the same. The Judgment Day, they beat AJ Styles, Liv Morgan, and Finn Balor. Matt Moss beats Baron Corbin. Austin Theory defeats Mustafa Ali. And Cody Rhodes, earlier in the day, tore his pectoral muscle. He comes on out. His pec is all bloody, discolored. He's still able to wrestle, and he beats Seth Rollins in the Hell in a Cell. And you got to give the Cody Rhodes credit. It's a testament. He wants to do this. He wants to be in this business. He doesn't care if he's injured or hurt. He's going to go through the pain and do what he needs to do. And he did just that. And we got to the news. Sasha Banks and Naomi, they walk out the WWE. So Sasha Banks, she had a rocky history at WWE, and it took an early, ugly turn a few months ago when the women's tag team champions walked out. The WWE issued their statement, said that Banks and Naomi placed the tag titles on John Elias's desk before walking out, citing that they weren't being respected. WWE.com also posted their side of things. Who's right, who's wrong, I don't know, but there's mystery involved. Build towards Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes comes out, addresses the fans, says he'll be back. Out comes Seth Rollins. He attacks Cody Rhodes with a sledgehammer. So Cody's on the shelf. We had the 20th anniversary celebration for John Cena. He makes his return. He's in the WWE Universe. He'll be back for several more matches. We get a feud with Bianca and Carmella. I didn't care much for this. We had a feud with Ronda Rousey and Natalya. I didn't care for this. Gunther made his main roster debut. Won the Intercontinental title off of Ricochet. So Gunther's your new Intercontinental champion. I didn't mind this. I like Walter. I don't know why I changed his name, but his future on the main roster looks promising. The Usos. They beat RK Bro for the Raw Tag Team titles. So they're now the unified tag team champions. They did a feud with the Street Profits. Bobby Lashley did a feud with Austin Theory over the U.S. title. Roman Reigns did a feud over Matt Riddle and beat Matt Riddle on SmackDown. Out comes Brock Lesnar to tease a match for SummerSlam. Money in the Bank, Liv Morgan won the briefcase. Bobby Lashley defeated Austin Theory. Bianca Belair defeated Carmella. The Usos defeated the Street Profits. Ronda Rousey beat Natalya. Out comes Liv Morgan. She attacks Ronda Rousey, cashes in, and wins. So Liv's your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Then we get the men's Money in the Bank ladder match won by Austin Theory. So then we get some more news. Vince McMahon has decided to step down from WWE over misconduct allegations as he paid $14 million that went undisclosed. Apparently, the money was used to pay female staff members for sexual misconduct. Some more payments started to get discovered. The WWE board is doing an inquiry. There could be criminal charges, maybe a civil settlement. Then, after a month of this, Vince decided to retire permanently. He could come back, most likely not, so Vince is gone. We get the road to SummerSlam. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, they feuded towards SummerSlam. I didn't really care much for this. Logan Paul did feud with The Miz. Thought this was alright. Baron Corbin did feud with Pat McAfee. This was alright. Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan, they did feud towards SummerSlam. I'm not too sure about Liv's title run. I don't know if they're just giving her the championship just to be a token. But I'll see where this goes. Judgment Day comes on out. They introduce a new member, Finn Balor. All of a sudden, they attack Edge. And they put him in the concerto. And Finn puts him in the STF. So I thought this was interesting. But at the same time, I thought Judgment Day was going to be dead. There's no way they can beat Edge. But out came the Mysterios. They defeated the Judgment Day. Street Profits and the Usos. They did another feud. Except this time, a special guest referee. And that referee is Jeff Jarrett. So Austin Theory, he had his own story. He had interactions with prior champions and Money in the Bank briefcase holders. Roman Reigns, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar. Thought this was pretty cool. As far as the build for SummerSlam Money in the Bank goes, I didn't really care either for one of these. Maybe a couple things that I liked, but not good so far into the summer. SummerSlam, Bianca Belair beats Becky Lynch. Out comes returning Bayley with Io Sky and Dakota Kai. They form a stable called Damage Control. Logan Paul beats The Miz. The Mysterios, they defeated the Judgment Day. Then he had Edge return. He aligns the Mysterios. Pat McAfee defeats Baron Corbin. The Usos defeated the Street Profits. Liv Morgan shockingly beats Ronda Rousey. And Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar in a last standing match. So news comes along that Paul Levesque, Triple H, will now be the head of creative. So we're on the road to Clash at the Castle, I believe. So Roman Reigns feuds Drew McIntyre. I didn't have much interest in this because these guys have fought 3 times prior. Roman Reigns has beaten Drew many times. So don't know why they're going at it again. Seth feud with Matt Riddle. This was good. They had a good backstage interview. I think Riddle dropped an F-bombs. I was like, whoa. Triple H turning up the heat on the promos. Bayley comes out, forms her group, Damage Control. They announce a women's tag team championship tournament. The tag titles are vacant. The finals were Damage Control, Raquel and Aaliyah. Raquel and Aaliyah won the belts. It makes sense. In Triple H tournaments, the outcome is usually unpredictable. Damage Control winning would probably be too predictable. Sheamus defeated Gunther over the Intercontinental title. That's pretty good. Liv Morgan defeated Shayna Baszler. I didn't really care much for this because Shayna, she can't beat anybody. Why is she getting a title match? Then we have the returns of Hit Row, Braun Strowman, and Johnny Gargano. Triple H trying to bolster up the roster. If we get Clash at the Castle, Madcap Moss, the Street Profits, they beat Alpha Academy and Austin Theory. Damage Control beat Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, and Asuka. Gunther defeated Sheamus. Liv Morgan defeated Shayna Baszler. Seth Rollins defeated Matt Riddle. Edge and the Mysterios, they beat the Judgment Day, so things aren't looking too good for the Judgment Day. But then Dominic would low blow Edge and attack Rey Mysterio. So it looks like he's joining the Judgment Day. Roman Reigns beats Drew McIntyre with the help of his other cousin, Solo Sikoa. He joins the Bloodline. Then after the match, Tyson Fury comes to the ring and they sing Kumbaya Drew McIntyre. That was Clash at the Castle. It was held in Wales. Probably the best pay-per-view event of the year, or best international pay-per-view event of the year. So we get the build towards Hell in a Cell. So the Sikoa joins the Bloodline. Liv Morgan and Ronda. No, not building towards Hell in a Cell. Extreme Rules. So I didn't really care much for this. Liv Morgan continued her feud with Ronda Rousey. I didn't care much for this. Damage Control won the tag team titles from Raquel and Aaliyah. I don't know why they didn't give them the belts the first time around, but they did here. So this led to Bayley feuding with Bianca. This made sense. Seth and Matt Riddle, they continued their feud into Extreme Rules. The match can be contested in a fight pit. Karrion Kross makes his return. He targets Drew McIntyre. The Judgment Day, they target Rey Mysterio. This sets up Edge to return. He challenges Finn Balor to an I Quit match at Extreme Rules. This is a match that Finn Balor needs to win. It's make it or break it for Judgment Day. So we get to Extreme Rules. Sheamus, Butch, and Ridge Holland, the Brawling Brutes, they defeated Imperium. Ronda Rousey defeats Liv Morgan. She's the new champion. Karrion Kross beats Drew McIntyre. Bianca Belair beats Bayley. I think Bayley should have won here. So far, things aren't looking too good for Damage Control, but it all comes down to Survivor Series. And Finn Balor beats Edge. They use Edge's wife, Beth Phoenix, to their advantage. Rhea Ripley attacks her with a chair. This forces Edge to say, I quit. So this was pretty good. Finn needed the win. So now I'm kind of behind Judgment Day. The main event was a fight fit match with Daniel Cormier as the referee. Matt Riddle wins. Then after the match, we have the return of Bray Wyatt. He did this whole White Rabbit gimmick. And it happened off screen on their social media profiles. They had a QR code flash on the screen. It was all these Bray Wyatt teases. We had the build towards Crown Jewel. Now it's that Roman Reigns would face Logan Paul. This feud is pretty good. They had Paul Heyman come out on SmackDown say that Logan Paul would be his client if he were to manage someone outside of WWE. Logan Paul came face to face with Roman, where Roman doesn't like the idea of outsiders being in WWE. Braun Strowman did defeat Omos. This was fine for what it was. I always wanted these two to go up against each other. AJ Styles had a backstage interaction with Finn Balor. Finn wants him to join the Judgment Day. AJ comes out on Raw, gives Finn Balor his answer. His answer is no. He brings out Gallows and Anderson. They reform the OC, the club, to take on the Judgment Day. Alexa Bliss and Asuka, they won the tag team titles from Damage Control. And these hot potato title changes, they're not working good. They're not doing Damage Control any good. Bayley and Bianca continued their feud. It was a ladder match at Extreme Rules. Bobby Lashley's getting ready for his U.S. title match against Seth Rollins. Out comes Brock Lesnar. He would attack Bobby Lashley. Seth would hit Lashley with the curb stomp. So Seth is your new United States champion. The next week, Bobby Lashley would call out Lesnar for a fight. Lesnar would hit Lashley with an F5. This sets up Lashley versus Lesnar for Crown Jewel. We get Crown Jewel. Brock Lesnar would beat Lashley. Damage Control would win back the titles from Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Drew McIntyre defeated Karrion Kross. The Judgment Day defeats the OC. Braun Strowman defeated Omos. The Usos defeat the Brawling Brutes. Bianca Belair defeated Bayley in a last woman standing match. And Roman Reigns beat Logan Paul. We get the build of Survivor Series War Games. Damage Control not looking good. So I believe twice now that Bianca's beaten Bayley. Not a good look. Bayley goes to the locker room, recruits Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley to be a part of her team for the War Games match. Bianca Belair, she recruits her team members. It's returning Mia Yim and Becky Lynch. So those two teams are set. AJ did the feud of Finn Balor. Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley, they feuded as well. This set up a match between the two at the end of the night. But Lashley attacked Rollins before the match. This led Seth Rollins being injured on the outside of the ring. And out comes Austin Theory. He cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase for the United States Championship. However, Lashley would screw Austin Theory and Seth would beat Austin Theory. So Austin Theory is a moron. With the Money in the Bank briefcase, you can only cash in on a world champion. Why a mid-card champion? So I never really understood this. Then we get a storyline between Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. Is Sami in or out? The story is about the Bloodline trying to get Sami's trust. In the past couple of months, there's been some dissension. Can the Usos trust Sami Zayn? Is Sami Zayn Usi? Are the Usos Usi? Sami mentioned that line, and every member of the Bloodline just cracked up laughing. The opponents were Kevin Owens, the Brawling Brutes, and Drew McIntyre. I didn't really care for their opponents. They felt shoehorned. They should have built up a babyface faction. But instead of just giving them opponents that they've already beaten. They go to Survivor Series. Team Bianca wins War Games, so Damage Control is pretty much buried. AJ Styles defeats Finn Balor. Ronda Rousey defeats Shotzi Blackheart. Austin Theory defeats Lashley and Seth Rollins. He wins back the U.S. title. And the Bloodline beats the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre. Sami Zayn would screw Kevin Owens, low blow him, and Roman Reigns would get the pinfall. So he is a part of the Bloodline. They do have each other's trust. Kevin Owens, however, is going to be a wedge over the next couple months. So then we get to the end of the year. Bayley and Becky, they're starting to feud with one another. They had a match on Raw. Bayley won. Alexa Bliss, she became the new number one contender. She defeated Bayley. Now her and Bianca are setting up a program for the first Raw of the new year. LA Knight, Bray Wyatt, they're starting some kind of feud or partnership. Bray Wyatt is having these visions of the Wyatt Six. Every week he's showing 6 different personality traits. So he's going to find 5 people to fill 5 of those traits. We have the returning Dexter Lumis. He attacked The Miz. And he stalked him every week. Stalked him at the ring. Stalked him backstage in his house. Eventually, Johnny Gargano would get involved. He says he knows Dexter Lumis more than anybody else. He wants to help The Miz. The Miz refused, so Gargano challenged him to a match, which The Miz would win. Gargano comes out the next week and exposed The Miz as a fraud. He says that Dexter Lumis stalking The Miz is just a financial scheme. So the story is The Miz paid Dexter Lumis to attack him, to increase The Miz's mainstream profile. But when the attacks got too crazy, Miz stopped paying Dexter Lumis. So Dexter Lumis continued to attack The Miz until he got his money. This led to a match. If Miz wins, he keeps the money, but if Lumis wins, he gets a contract and the money. Dexter Lumis would win. This set up a ladder match with the money on the line. The Miz would win the ladder match with the assist of Bronson Reed. So this story's not done yet. Then we get a returning John Cena announcing he's coming to SmackDown. The team with Kevin Owens take on Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. So we reached the end of the year. My approval rating is 7 out of 10. Thanks to Triple H. I can't give him too much heat or too much praise. I think he's done a decent job. Not perfect. But following WrestleMania, I am going to expect a little bit more from him. Like some stuff that he's done, he's brought back several stars. He's pushed some, stars like, the Judgment Day. He's put a spotlight on the U.S. title. I like what he's done with the pay-per-views. They feel like spectacle events again. But next things he's got to work on, he's got to work on the mid-card. He's got to focus on the women's division. He's got to build that one guy that can topple Roman Reigns. And he's also got to find a way to grow the product. Get Monday Night Raw to 2 million viewers and stay there. Get it on par with SmackDown. But my approval rating this year is 7 out of 10. I think it's the first time I've said this in like 5 years. This has been your WWE 2022 year in review. I will see you here next year for 2023. So see you guys later for that one.